The Russian occupying forces continue offensive operations in the Eastern Operation Zone, launching rocket attacks on industrial infrastructure and firing on civilian targets in Ukraine. In the Volyn and Polisia oblasts, the Russian armed forces did not take any active steps, concentrating their main efforts to protect the state borders on the Brest and Gomel oblasts regions. Meetings with recruits are held as part of an inspection of the Belarusian armed forces in the Brest and Grodno oblasts regions. The threat of rocket attacks from Belarus on Ukraine's infrastructure remains. In the Siversk area, the Russian side is fortifying the Ukrainian-Russian border in the Bryansk and Kursk oblasts. Russian troops fired artillery at civilian targets in Sumy Oblast and launched an airstrike on the town of Tovstojabovo. The Russians are concentrating on withdrawing their units from Kharkov and preventing the infiltration of the Ukrainian defense forces behind the Russian troops concentrated at Izium. Enemy units fired on positions of Ukrainian troops in the settlements of Petrivka, Potomnik, Ruski Tishki and Ternova. In the Sloviansk region, the Russians concentrated their offensive efforts near the settlement of Baharitich, but were unsuccessful. They bombed Novodmitrivka and Krasnopilia and carried out air raids on Dolina and Adamivka. Russian units continued to fire on Ukrainian troops in Donetsk and Tavria areas. The occupiers tried to take control of the settlements of Novoselivka Druha, Kamyanka, Mariinka, and Novomikhailivka. In the Lyman area, the enemy unsuccessfully tried to gain a foothold in the Alexandrivka settlement. In the Svyrodonetsk area, the Russians shelled the town of Rubish. In the Bakhmut area, Russian troops conducted offensive operations in the direction of Zolote and Komyshuvakha, shelling the settlements of Tishkivka and Orachov. In the area of Avdiivka, Russian forces, supported by artillery, are conducting offensive operations in the direction of Kamyanka and Novoselivka, so far without success. In Mariupol, Russian occupiers blockade and fire on Ukrainian units sheltering in the Azovstal steelworks. There are no active hostilities in the Pevdenyi-Ba area. The Russians fired on the Ukrainian forces with artillery and mortars and continued to conduct aerial reconnaissance. In the occupied territories, the Russians continue to repress the local population through police and counterintelligence operations. The unlawful detention of civilians also continues, particularly those with an active pro-Ukrainian position. The General Staff stressed that the Ukrainian defense forces are inflicting casualties on the aggressors and are prepared for any change in the operational situation. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this edition of the news. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time. Bye.